PC Dennis Chaffer and PC Jamie Lewis guilty to misconduct in public office after they shared photographs of the bodies of murdered sisters Bieber Henry and Nicole Smallman on WhatsApp. More on that later in the morning here on Sky News. Some of the other day's business news now, though. BP has reported a big rise in profits thanks to higher oil and gas prices. Well, replacement cost profits, which is the preferred industry measure, rose by 18% to $3.32 billion during the 3 months to the end of September on an underlying basis. Well, BP said it expected oil and gas production to be higher during the final 3 months of the year as it ramps up production in the Gulf of Mexico, where output was hit during the most recent quarter by disruption caused by Hurricane Ida. BP also said it expected gas prices to remain very strong during the period of peak winter demand. Standard Chartered has become the latest UK bank to report a sharp rise in quarterly profits. Stan Chart, which does most of its lending in Asia and Africa, reported a 44% rise in pre-tax profits to $1.08 billion for the 3 months to the end of September. That was better than expected and reflected a sharp drop in the amount of money the bank set aside to cover loans it does not now expect to be repaid in full. Stan Chart also revealed it has exposure worth $4.2 billion to China's property sector, which is under the spotlight following a debt crisis at the giant developer Evergrande. And the Chinese owner of the popular social media app TikTok has announced a major reorganisation. ByteDance is to set up 6 business units as it seeks to diversify into other fields such as providing a news aggregation service, education services and enterprise technology. Under the reorganisation, the company's chief financial officer, Shuzi Chu, will step down to focus on his other role of running TikTok itself. The move is seen as dampening prospects of an imminent stock market flotation. We're now to New York and a highly anticipated 2-day policy meeting of the US Federal Reserve. The Fed's expected to announce a tapering of stimulus and approve plans to scale back its $120 billion per month bond buying programme. Well, that was, of course, a measure put in place to help the economy cope with the effects of the pandemic. Well, for more on this now, I'm joined by Brian Nick. He's the Chief Investment Strategist at Nuveen. Brian, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining me at such an unsociable hour. I mean, most people assume the Fed is going to start tapering with this policy decision. Is that your assumption?
Yeah, I think that's a foregone conclusion. The question is, how much are they going to taper and how quickly are they going to be able to wind down? It looks like they're going to announce about $15 billion per month of a taper that will have them finished completely with asset purchases by June or July of next year, depending on exactly when they start.
Is there a case for the Fed moving more quickly, do you think?
Well, they've been very careful to separate this taper from the decision that they'll ultimately have to take at some point to raise interest rates. The taper is really meant to address the liquidity crisis that hit now over a year ago. That was resolved pretty quickly, and then to continue to provide accommodative conditions for the financial markets. Extremely easy financial conditions have largely been achieved, so the Fed can probably wind this down pretty quickly. I think this is probably on the faster side of what was expected initially, but the markets are now really hot on the Fed's heels, anticipating when exactly they're going to be raising interest rates. So not just getting rid of the easy policy, but actively starting to tighten policy as well. So the quicker the Fed winds this down, the more flexibility they could have if they feel like they need to raise interest rates at some point in the middle of next year.
And that's the big question, of course. I mean, the market currently appears to be pricing in a couple of rate rises next year. Do you think the Fed's actually comfortable with that?
I don't. It will be interesting to see if Jay Powell pushes back against that. The Fed doesn't have much of a communication tool on Wednesday. They don't have a forecast or the dot plot or some of these other things they normally do. But he does have a press conference, and he'll be able to address specifically the fact that the markets over the last 2 or 3 weeks have aggressively priced in rate hikes, not just by the end of 2022, but really now in the middle and ongoing into 2022 and 2023. If he's not comfortable with that, I think we'll understand that pretty quickly. He'll be pushing back against that, again, separating the taper from the decision to tighten interest rate policy. And the Fed has been out there really kind of vociferously saying we are tolerant of inflation and we want to encourage full employment. And that's the condition under which they'll be willing to raise interest rates. And he gets a little bit more specific, I think, on Wednesday about exactly what he considers full employment to be. And I think we're still a good ways away from that. So I think the Fed probably does want to just nudge back a little bit against what the market's been pricing in.
And of course, the other thing that everyone will be looking out for is whether the Fed continues to refer to inflation as being transitory. What do you expect to see there?
Yeah, I think we need clarification on the definition of transitory. I think at this point we can't really define it to mean short because we've had this inflation that's really set upon us in the second quarter and is still going to be with us certainly into next year. But I would define transitory inflation as inflation that will go away on its own without the Fed having to act and raise policy rates. So things like rising oil and food prices, there's not much the Fed can do about those. Similarly, now the demand shock that hit us in the second quarter for things like cars, appliances, furniture, that will also probably go away on its own. We're seeing consumers opting away from some of those goods that have gotten very expensive. What won't go away on its own is sort of the wage inflation that feeds into higher prices across the economy. And if we start to see higher and hotter wage growth, that's going to force the Fed to come off the sidelines and act probably a bit earlier than it would like.
Absolutely. I mean, what about the fettle of the US consumer right now, Brian? I mean, we've heard, for example, from BP today, they're already seeing global oil demand back above $100 million barrels a day. And this is even before aviation has really got going again. Clearly, there's going to be inflation in oil and gas.
One would think, and we still have economies in Asia and Latin America that are relatively oil intensive or commodity intensive that have not fully reopened. So there is going to be, I think, an ongoing demand shock for some of these items, including commodities and including, I would say, a store of goods as well. What we're seeing in Europe and the US with the consumers, though, is people have gotten over I think the pandemic pattern of consumption, which was very goods intensive compared to services. Some of that was by necessity. People got very used to ordering things that would arrive at their home, and we're still seeing goods consumption inordinately high compared to services. But I think as things normalize fully, maybe not fully, but most of the way, you will see people turning to more spending on things that are, I guess, for lack of a better term, having fun versus buying stuff. And as we see that, that should be disinflationary for commodities, but also for, I'd say, most goods prices as service prices continue to rise back to where they were before the pandemic.
All right, Brian, we have to leave it there. Good to talk to you as ever. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now, since its creation, Google has become a far more than just a search engine. We use it to send emails, to route our way somewhere, and to translate other languages. While it may appear to have little environmental impact to some, there is a large carbon footprint left behind. Now, though, the company is working towards a goal to operate on carbon-free energy alone by 2030. I want to talk more about the company's ambitions. I'm joined by Matt Britton. He's the President of Europe, Middle East, Africa Business and Operations at Google. Matt, very good morning to you. I mean, a lot of people assume that Google, with all of its servers and data centers and so forth, is going to be a large carbon emitter.
Yeah, well, we've been cutting carbon for 2 decades, Ian. Actually, I joined Google in 2007. I was a child, really. And in those days, we went carbon neutral. And then since then, what we've been doing is investing heavily in renewables. So 2017, we matched all of our electricity purchases globally with renewable energy, with a big investor in wind and solar and so on. And we've announced our plan to be carbon-free, only operating on renewables by 2030 in our campuses and data centers. The good news is, in 2 or 3 data centers in Europe, we're already running only on renewables over 90% of the time. So we're getting towards that. The last 10% is hard, but I think it's a really important thing for people to understand. Every time you search or watch a YouTube video, you're already carbon neutral, and we're well on the way to being carbon free in those services. And we're providing businesses with the greenest, cleanest cloud as they transform and digitize too.
You mentioned the last 10% there. I mean, I gather that's in places like Taiwan and Singapore, where the data centers are still largely run off coal.
No, we don't have data centers there. The last 10% is how do you get renewable energy to function round the clock. We have data centers in places like Finland, which is smart because it's cool, that kind of thing. I mean, the other thing we're doing, Ian, is as you're showing here, we're trying to help users make smarter choices too. So one of our pledges is to help 1 billion users using our products in their everyday lives to make smarter choices for the planet. So good example there is Google Maps. Probably the most useful thing we can do is show you the most eco-friendly route. And we're doing that. And so if the most eco-friendly route is very similar in time to the rest, we'll just give you that. If it's a bit of a difference in time, we'll show you the option, because sometimes you'll be able to make that choice. And we estimate that we could take the equivalent of 200,000 cars off the streets if people are using those kinds of tools. Or when you search for a product or a flight or a hotel, we want to be able to show you the more eco-friendly option. So that's one of the ways that we can help consumers make smarter choices. And by the way, we know that people really care. I'm here in Glasgow because people really care and they want to see change. Edelman tell us over 70% of people in countries around the world care about and are fearful of the consequences of climate change. And that's why it's so urgent that we take action. It's clear that governments and companies and communities need to work together to do this, and that's why Google's trying to play its part.
Isn't the problem, Matt, this? I mean, as a large energy consumer, you're ultimately dependent on the utilities that run the power grids to decarbonise themselves. And at the moment, they're not making that sort of progress.
Well, actually, as I say, we're one of the world's biggest purchasers in the corporate sector of renewable energy. We're often the first investor in things like a wind or a solar farm, so that we bring new capacity online that others can benefit from. What we found is actually by doing that, we've reduced our energy costs. These new renewables can be as cost efficient as older types of energy. And I think one of the key things at COP is for governments to give that framework for decarbonisation, for more finance to help to assist that transition, transparent carbon markets, and to incentivise innovation. It's really clear, as I said, urgent action needs to be collective across communities, companies, and government, but technology is going to be central in tackling that. And we share our technology. The ways in which our DeepMind team, actually here in the UK, have helped us to reduce the cooling costs of data centres by 40%. We then publish that technology and share it with others so that they can make their data centres more eco-friendly too. And I think that collective action is why we're here at COP, because we want, alongside other big companies, to play our part. Companies like Unilever, for example, we're working with them to help them address deforestation by using AI and Google Maps to try to identify where they're getting suppliers who are deforesting and to kind of move away from those kind of suppliers towards those who are investing in regenerative agriculture. So there's a lot to do, but I think technology is central to tackling this crisis.
You mentioned just now the role of end users, and presumably they could help by not needlessly backing up millions of photographs and emails every day that they don't necessarily require.
Well, because we've all got choices to make in our lives, but I do think, we're already able to run carbon neutral services, and we're well on the way to being able to run carbon free services. And of course, these technologies, maybe not your photo library, but technologies like Google Translate, technologies like YouTube to teach and learn new skills and so on, technologies like Google Search that help you to find out what's going on in the world, explore and learn things, they're really essential. And one of the things that I'm keen on personally, we're trying to do at Google, is help the rest of the planet. We must remember that half the planet, the poorest people, are the most affected by the climate crisis. They're responsible for only 10% of global emissions. And what we need to do is to help them to digitize, to get the advantages that we take for granted, and to do that in a cleaner and fairer way. And that's one of the things that we're keen to see here, is the finance being available to help support a cleaner and fairer transition to sustainable energy in those countries too.
All right, Matt, we've got to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Ian.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live, we'll be taking a look at how global markets are doing this Tuesday morning. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're just going back to Glasgow. Here's Jeff Bezos, one of the world's richest men, the founder, of course, of Amazon. He's got a few things to say. Let's listen.
Nature provides all the food we eat, the water we drink, and the oxygen we breathe. It gives us life. It is beautiful, but it is also fragile. I was reminded of this in July when I went into space with Blue Origin. I was told that seeing the Earth from space changes the lens through which you view the world. But I was not prepared for just how much that would be true. Looking back at Earth from up there, the atmosphere seems so thin, the world so finite and so fragile. Now, in this critical year, and what we all know is the decisive decade, we must all stand together to protect our world. Climate change gives us a powerful reason to invest in nature. Each year, forests and landscapes absorb 11 billion tons of CO2 from the atmosphere, helping to slow climate change. As we destroy nature, we reverse this process. Cut down a forest, destroy the mangroves, pave over the prairies, and instead of sequestering carbon, we emit it. In too many parts of the world, nature is already flipping from a carbon sink to a carbon source. This is a profound and urgent danger to us all. That's why last month in New York, 9 philanthropic organizations announced an additional $5 billion to support the goal of 30 by 30, to protect 30% of all land and sea by 2030. I was honored to be a part of this with a $1 billion pledge from the Bezos Earth Fund. And today, I'm pleased to announce a $2 billion pledge allocated directly to restoring nature and transforming food systems. This is part of the Bezos Earth Fund's $10 billion commitment to fight climate change, enhance nature, and advance environmental justice and economic opportunity. Together, this $3 billion in pledges will drive a new threefold nature agenda for the Bezos Earth Fund, focused simultaneously on conservation, restoration, and food transformation. We must conserve what we still have. We must restore what we've lost. And we must grow what we need to live without degrading the planet for future generations to come. In the atmosphere, molecules of carbon dioxide cause climate change and risk destroying life as we know it. But bring that carbon back down to Earth through the magic of photosynthesis into trees, plants, crops, and soil, and this brings life and vitality. Today, 2/3 of the land in Africa is degraded, but this can be reversed. Restoration can improve soil fertility, raise yields, and improve food security, make water more reliable, create jobs, and boost economic growth, while also sequestering carbon. Continent-wide initiatives like Africa 100 and the Great Green Wall offer significant hope. They must now be scaled up. Ahead of COP27 next year, the Bezos Earth Fund would be eager to participate in a concerted strategy led by African nations to seriously and effectively ramp up support for restoration on the continent. However, we cannot rely only on governments, NGOs, and philanthropies to solve the climate crisis. The private sector must also play its part to reduce carbon emissions. Companies need to take leadership positions. Amazon has co-founded the Climate Pledge with Christiane Figueres and set a goal to reach net zero carbon by 2040, 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement goals. As part of this pledge, Amazon aims to power all its operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025 and is working to convert its delivery fleet to electric vehicles. Amazon is inviting other companies to join the climate pledge, and more than 200 have to date. Companies can also lead the way on nature-based solutions. Over the past 6 months, Amazon partnered with leading countries committed to protecting the tropical forests and their tropical forests, and the governments of Norway, the UK, and the US to mobilize an unprecedented level of funding to fight tropical deforestation through an initiative called the Leaf Coalition. Amazon has committed significant financial support for Leaf, and the coalition will be signing letters of intent with governments that are ready to receive support. More details will be shared in the next session. Let me be clear. When people hanker for the good old days and glamorize the past, they are almost always wrong. By almost all metrics, life is much better today than it was in the past. Global poverty rates are lower, infant mortality and life expectancies are better, and education rates are higher. But there is a notable exception. The natural world is not better today than it was 500 years ago, when we enjoyed unspoiled forests, clean rivers, and the pristine air of the pre-industrial world. This is an unacceptable anomaly, and it's one we can reverse. The question is simple. Will we in this room work together, do the hard work together, to gift our children and grandchildren an improving natural world? I know the answer is yes, and I look forward to working with all of you on this important and rewarding journey. Thank you.
Well, that was Jeff Bezos there, getting in an advert for Amazon. I don't think I've ever seen him in a collar and tie before, apart from when he was up before US Congress that time. Anyway, as he mentioned in his speech, his Earth Fund is working on climate projects along with the likes of IKEA and the Rockefeller Foundation. Together, they're aiming to parlay the $10 billion fund into $100 billion. We'll join him now to talk about this is Dr. Rajiv Shah. He's president of the Rockefeller Foundation. Dr. Shah, welcome to you. What are the main areas?
Money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Body is your ma. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harrison, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know.
Hi there. This is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high You know how I feel. Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's a Starr Radio UK, the morning show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
this is Starr Radio UK. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Everybody put your hands together. If you know he's been good, lift your hands and say, you were good, Lord, yeah, yeah.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
Everybody say, Lord,
I'm here to sing
my praises
my praises for all you have done,
and I
and I will lift my voice
to give you
to
thanks
give thanks and say you are God.
for your love and your grace, for your faithfulness each day.
All honor, all glory to you.
I will lift up my voice, stand tall and say
That He has been so good to me.
Oh, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all. We welcome you to the Tuesday edition of the morning show on Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's do, say Lord,
Here we are.
everyone say, Lord, we come to you. We are grateful for another opportunity to live life, and as I say it all the time, I make sure that I live it to the fullest, and I hope that you also going to be living it to the fullest as well. But you know, you can go a step further by sharing the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and inviting them to like our pages as well. Today is the 2nd of November, the year 2021. The time now, 10:41. Of course I am. Playing in the background this morning, Enyo, he is good by Joe Metal and the Better Revival Choir. If you know he's been good, lift your hands and say, you were good, Lord, yeah. A friend will say, who say God no good? God good, God day. All right then. Okay, let me say morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. And to those of you on other planets as well, we salute you all and we welcome you to today's program. And let me say a special good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D. And all the way in Aberdeen, where in Scotland, where it's all happening, in specifically Glasgow. I want to say a special good morning to Felix in Aberdeen. Felix, morning to you. To our listeners in London, in the UK in general, I salute you all. But a special one to those of you in the US. Come for the David. Hey, long time no see, no hear. I hope you are doing well. And the family as well. I salute you all. To our listeners in Europe, those of you in Asia, in Australia, on the African continent, especially in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, to my lovely listeners in La Côte d'Ivoire and Liberia, I salute you all. Once again, welcome. So, if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us on a Tuesday edition of the morning show, this is how the program goes. For the program outline, I'll bring you the quotes for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll be moving on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. And then after that, 11 o'clock, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi who will be joining us to bring us updates from Nigeria. There's lots happening there. We're going from there in exactly one. At 12 o'clock, we open the lines for you to join in the discussions. But in the course of the program, we'll be joined by Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Kojo D as well. And a lot more. We're going to be having a look at some of the analysis of the story that is making the rounds. But you can also hop in when the lines are open at 12 o'clock. But before then, if you want to do so, you can text or WhatsApp it to 0753-966-1744, 0753-966-1744. And then exactly at 12, when the lines are opened, you can hop in. You can put your comments on our Facebook page as well. Let me send my special greetings to our one and only Tosino in Moscow, Russia, and a special one to Oza Francis Omaga Namani, all the way in Enugu State. Good morning to you, sir. Okay, let's crack on. Channel your energy into finding a solution if one is to be found, or into other things that are within your control. Channel your energy into finding a solution if one is to be found, or into other things that are within your control. So don't worry yourself about things that you cannot do anything about. It's out of your width. So what do? Just forget about that. Look onto things that you can do and leave the rest to God. He will see you through. All right then. So that's what we have the quote for the day. Now let's move on straight to the weather front. This morning is quite chilly than it's been of late. Especially for those of us in London. Now this afternoon we'll continue to see plenty of sunshine, but patchy cloud will move in. At times with the chance of the odd shower, light winds are spread as well. And then this evening, any showers will ease and skies will remain mostly clear. Temperatures will drop away again, and it will be quite a chilly night with the chance of frost, particularly in rural parts. The total temperature is going to be 12 degrees and the lower is going to be 2 degrees. UV level, low pollution, low sunset 16:32, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:55 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a quick break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel updates. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I promise you that song that I'm playing, I'll make sure that you enjoy it in full in a bit. So stay tuned.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise I'm on the Starr Radio UK travel app that I come to where every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:48. And what is your travels like this morning? Yes, on the underground, good service apart from the planned closures on the Waterloo and City lines. When it comes to TFL Rail, deal landing overground, landing trambling, good service there as well. But moving on straight to the river bus, I can tell you shortly, no issues there, good service throughout. But on the National Rail, there are a few incidents here and there. Let's go through them. First one, Spencer Express, minor delays. Gatwick Express, special service Great Western Railway, special service Great Anglia, special service Island Line, minor delays Merseyrail, special service Northern Rail, minor delays Southern, minor delays and Thameslink, minor delays there as well. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. I will bond. Now let's move on to the final segment of the traffic update. That is on the major roads in London. A23 has got closures. A4 closures. A41 closures. Central London red routes closures. South Circular A205 closures. A12 serious delays. North Circular A406 serious delays there as well. And that is why I say, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 7 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's now time for Global Trotting. Okay, so get yourself up, get your loins, and if you are standing, hold on to something. Sitting, sit very comfortably, and let us take the trip. Yeah, it's going to be a very swift one, and it could be bumpy, but however, be rest assured that, well, I'm going to get you to your destination in peace, not pieces. Okay, so let's go Global Trotting. Okay, now first and foremost, yes, the story is going on. The story is going on. UK apologizes for COP26 wheelchair access problems. Well. They didn't think about that. You know, we never fought in those areas, but for that. Wow. But COP26, they're saying that leaders are saying, pledging also, Biden has pledged $9 billion to conserve and restore forests. And Johnson also say we can restore wild forests. So they're saying that come 2030, there will, call it a total restoration of the forest. So we're going to stop cutting down or hewing down of our forests now. So until then, what do we do? Are there going to be lots of tree planting going on? You know, we've been saying this back in the day when we're doing reforestation, the reforestation program back in Ghana. We'll tell you that when you cut one tree down, you plant what in place? Is it 3, 4, or a few in place, so that at least one of them will grow up? But I don't see that happening in other parts of the world, where they keep on hewing down trees and then they just continue as usual, and that's what we are seeing. So everyone, it behoves on each and every one of us to do something to conserve our environment wherever we are. Every little helps. Maybe that will reduce the temperature in the atmosphere by a little winny tiny few degrees there. Maybe what? And that might help us or save us all. So what do you think about that? We'll be talking more about it. Israeli Prime Minister Karim El-Lahara waited for 2 hours outside the Glasgow venue but couldn't get inside. Gee. Whoa. We'll be talking about it. I bet you all the people who use wheelchairs or sort of disabled in parts of their bodies will be very concerned about it. So if any one of them have gone to that particular venue to attend this, is that how they're going to be treated? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. We'll be bringing you more on that front. France delays sanctions as patient talks continue. Paris has stepped back from a threat to block British fishing boats from its ports from midnight. And the MPs call for delay in all and smart motorways. They say more safety data is needed before the hard shoulder is made into a permanent traffic lane, which I agree with them 125%. Okay, MPs to wear masks amid COVID case rise. Now, tours of Parliament have also been cancelled as health body warns of greater risk of transmission. So, well, if you are an MP going to Parliament, well, they're going to be putting on masks. Now, I go to town. Yesterday, I was out and about in the afternoon getting few things for home. And then I went to some of the shopping centers, and then I had my mask on. But you see people without masks. Loads of people. Is it because they think that they are vaccinated? We had the leader of the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, who has been vaccinated, yet he contracted COVID. So you see what we're talking about. So in order that you will not spread what you have got to someone else, please, let's do our best. When you go out there, put on your mask until we know that we've actually got it on top of this COVID. All right, you want Christmas? Yeah, you got to do so. If not, if there's a spike, if it continues to go up like that, well, in Israel, where they have virtually vaccinated almost 100% of the people, yes, they still have people who are being hospitalized. Okay, those who have been vaccinated who have been hospitalized as well. But it is All Star Radio. Okay, coming your way with Global Trotting. Now moving on to some other parts of the world as well. World leaders promised to end deforestation by 2030. More than 100 nations, including Brazil, Russia, and Indonesia, signed COP26 first major deal. So we hope that it triggers down, and our little communities will also see to do so. And US to stop methane leaks from oil and gas wells. The Biden administration plans to restore tough rules curbing one of the most potent greenhouse gases. Well then, if Biden doesn't win the next election and another maybe someone else, maybe let's say the Republicans win the election and they come in, are they going to turn it around and say nah, we are the big hooks, the big investors in that field, and therefore you're going to be spoiling our profits, and therefore they would say nah, let's check it out, and then, like Trump was doing when he ripped apart the Paris accord that was signed before his time. Now, race to find survivors in Nigeria building collapse. Rescuers have worked through the night in Lagos with many people feared trapped under rubble. And you look at Nigeria, and you look at especially in Africa, when people are putting up structures or buildings, the inspection. And the other time we were having a chat, and I think Felix was saying that, well, when you have people who a bag of cement that's supposed to mix maybe how many portions of sand or to build bricks, and then they will go on and then use a bag of cement to mix and make 100 cement blocks, and eventually the moment something gets up, it just crumbles away. So what? Okay, so we'll bring you more on that as and when we have Yomi joining us. Officers condemn CIA torture as a stain on America. Military jury asks for clemency in case of Majid Khan and rebukes his alleged treatment by the CIA. Well, they were using torture to to get information. Was that the right move at all? It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. How Virginia Governor race explains U.S. politics. Some stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Deadly missile attack on Yemen religious school. The Yemeni government blames Houthi rebels for the attack, which killed or wounded 29 civilians. A sad one there. Star Radio UK. Jailed 3 times for refusing to join the army. Most Jewish Israeli do military service, but a small number, like Shahar, take an ideological stance and decide, I don't want to be part of it. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A gunmen have kidnapped lecturers from Nigerian university. 4 teachers and their children were taken in an early morning raid. Somebody say this is a norm, so we don't see anything different from there. Zimbabwe president in UK for first time in 25 years after Mugabe decided not to be coming to this part of the world. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. On the African continent, Sudan's ousted prime minister calls for reinstatement. Okay, reinstatement of who? The reinstatement of him. Well, a lot more going to be coming your way from there. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. African leaders arrived at the COP26 summit. I saw Tshisekedi, that is the president of DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, sitting in on top there, and I asked myself the question this morning that, look at the mining that is going on in his backyard. What has he said, or what has he done about that, or what has he said about that? to them? Is he taking the right stance and making bold decisions and telling them, no, this is what you're supposed to do and stuff like that? Corporate responsibilities and stuff like that? Well, what is he doing? Or is he just sitting there and they just coxing him, and then the next moment, oh yeah, everything is fine, and they just walk off and same old, and our people are impoverished? What have they been doing there? We'll be looking into those stories in a moment. But it is Starr Radio UK. Don't you go away. Mr. Olayomi will be joining us exactly in the next 13 minutes. So just bear with us. He's trying to put some few information together. All right then. Now moving on to some other parts of the world as well. In Ghana, act swiftly on Akufo-Addo's directives. Lawsuits to the Attorney General. And some other stories. A new Joabin MCE nominee have been arrested. You know what he did? I think he bribed the people to vote for him to appoint him, and then it happened that they didn't. So he lost for the second time, and then decided that, you know what, you people, give me my bribe back. So he was arrested. But I'll be looking into that. Maybe it's about time that we saw our politicians some sense. Let me put it that way. And law school resolution. Joe White schools damn on parliament powers. Has parliament got powers on the law school, or what should it be? But interestingly, we got the one and only Professor Enin, who is talking about something that is quite interesting. He says that democracy works best when it's not threatened or coerced. Professor Enin on Joabin Municipal Assembly election. Now you look at the fact that when it comes to politics in our part of the world, people are coerced or threatened to vote. The other giving something. It's just a handful of people. Honestly, just a handful of people who think that, well, whatever you do, I'm not going to be coerced. I don't feel threatened. I just go on, cast my vote, and then walk off. Just a handful of people, but majority of us. So if you look at our democracy, where he is of the view that democracy works, so that means our democracy is not working. Someone saying, oh, it's a young democracy, so let's leave it for some time. It's going to metamorphose into a very good, or grow up to be a very good and strong democracy. Do you think that is the right thing to do? We'll be looking into all those stories in a moment. But for now, we're going to take a break. I'm going to bring you, we're going to take some social announcements, and then after that, we will commercial break. My apologies. And after that, I'll bring you some music, and then we'll be having Mr. Olayomi joining us on updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. A lot more going to be coming your way. I am Archie.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
If you know he's been good, lift your hands and say, you were good, Lord, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody say, Lord, I'm here to sing my praises for all you have done, and I will lift my.
Yes, I want to welcome you back to the morning show. It's now 9 minutes past the top of the hour, and it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Time for updates from Nigeria. But let me tell you, Yummy, we can't see you. We can't see you. So please call us back, please. But some of the stories I'm going to be looking at this morning. 10 die as 21-story building collapses in Lagos. Designer warned of tragedy. He designed it. He warned of the tragedy. Why did they allow it to be put up? And soldiers generate a fake alert, absconds. A soldier who generated a fake alert absconds with Lagos POS operator 100,000 naira. That's a desperate soldier, man. Okay, so a lot more going to be coming your way, but let's see whether we can hear Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, good morning. Okay, I think he's going to be calling us back. But enjoy the tune whilst we get Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. For your love and your grace, for your faithfulness each day, all honor, all glory to you. I will lift up my voice, I will stand tall and say that He's been so good. Take it outside. He's been so good to me. Ain't no so good program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:20. My apologies. You see, one of the clocks is an hour ahead. 11:12. That's 12 minutes past 11. Now, if you are in Nigeria, it is 12 minutes past 12. But at this juncture, we have Mr. Olayomi Kojo who are joining, and let me go straight to him and say, Yomi, good morning to you, sir.
Very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our viewers. Good morning to all our listeners from around the globe. And welcome again to Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, it is, the second day of November. We can only be grateful, and we can only say, the more the life is available, the more there is hope for the future in the midst of so many things happening around the globe.
Well, in the midst of so many things happening around the globe, we have to be grateful. But today, 10 people are not grateful when it comes to Nigeria, or Lagos to be specific. 21-story building collapsed and 10 people die. And the story is that the designer warned of the tragedy. Now, who did he sign that warning to?
Well, yesterday, just as, we were coming out of the broadcast of the Star Radio UK, just about an hour after that, like you said, Nigeria is about an hour ahead of us, so they are just about 13 minutes past 12. So right there yesterday, as you were ending the program at about 1 p.m., so that would have been about 2 p.m. local time in Nigeria, Lagos, one of the most eyebrow area that you can talk about, with especially a lot of upcoming buildings around the particular area. Ikoyi is a kind of an eyebrow area. It's different from the kind of Ajegunle, Oshodi, or Agege. But something shook the whole world yesterday with a 21-story building coming all the way down as fast as possible within the twinkle of an eye from some of the eyewitnesses as well. As we can confirm right now, about 10 people have died. There's still ongoing rescue mission, according to the Lagos State Management that is right there on the scene, saying that there's still hope of people being trapped there. How many people are trapped there? From what we know, the owner of the project was right on the premises of the building yesterday with some of the contractors that were also there as well. So that means, and as you can imagine, if the owner of the project is coming down for visitation or whatever it was, that means there will be full staff on the premises doing all kind of work as well. But what we can confirm is there's now a lot of information coming out that is now coming to the public notice that this should not be a 21-story building. It should have been a 15-story building. How come 6 more were added to it? That is the first question in the minds of so many Nigerians this morning. Thereabout as well, one of the structural engineer as at last year, February, pull out on that project. Again, it's something to look into. There's quite a lot of questions to be asked, but the most important thing is, could this have been avoided yesterday prior to so many lives died and so many people are trapped as we speak right now? I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. The owner, Mr. Femi Osibono, who owned the building, and some of his clients and engineer, according to the information, as at the time of this report right now, many were still trapped in the rubble, including the managing director of Fourscore IT Limited, who is the owner, Mr. Femi Osibono, who owned the building, and some of his client and engineer. And if the video that we saw yesterday, I cannot confirm that video in terms of when that video was shot yesterday or prior to that or some week ago, but what we can say is we saw the owner on the top of the building with some of his engineer that were on the ground there as well, and also one of a very popular media guru named Chief Dele Momodu's wife was also there. Chief Dele Momodu owns Ovation, so the wife was also in that building, in that video on top of the building. But what we cannot confirm is whether that video was shot yesterday. If that video was shot yesterday, that means there's tendency that the wife of Ovation might be there as well. I've looked at his page this morning, even though he hasn't posted for more than 15 hours. But just about 6 hours ago, all that has been posted on his Instagram handle, which is very, very unusual for somebody of his caliber that posts quite a lot. All he has said is the saddest day, Monday.
Well, listen, let's start Radio UK. But when it comes to the owner of that property, Femi Osibano, now the question is, the engineer or the designer who said that, look, that structure is tantamount to collapsing. Now, who did the engineer say that to, or the designer? Who did he say that to? Did he say that to Femi Osibano or to the state? What do you call it? The Lagos State. Is it? Well, I don't know the term that they use there. Whether the ones who inspect buildings and infrastructure being put up.
Well, I mean, you would expect that a project in this magnitude will be having, a hand with the local authority and also the state government. So that means, for any project of this magnitude, the local government in that particular area in Ikoyi must be aware, and there will have to also be some kind of permission, license, safety, and all that boils to the Lagos State government. So the question a lot of us are asking this morning is, how come, if what we are getting, that this should have been a 15-story building and already it's got 21-story building right there, there's been a violation? Could they have stopped it before yesterday? And if not, who are those that have been inspecting that building that allowed that construction to continue up to yesterday, knowing that the building planning permission only says 15-story building? So quite a lot is being asked, but again, less is still being given, but the Lagos State governor have already said investigation will carry on. Just the same day yesterday or thereabout, a similar, just about 10 minutes drive from that particular location, I think maybe last year, I'll have to verify that, there was a similar collapse of a building. And again, the question is, do we continue to get this repetitive of building collapse and nothing being done in terms of the investigation and the outcome of that investigation, so that lesson can be learned and laws can be tightened, so that we do not see lives of Nigerians being lost as we saw it yesterday.
Interesting. Listen, let's start Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koike. Now, Yomi, one final question on that particular story. Now, was the building completed or it was still being constructed?
It is still in the process of being constructed.
But was it being inhabited by some people? Were some people still living in there and the construction going on, or what?
Well, you've got to look at it this way. When it comes to building like that in Nigeria, people live inside it, even though it's still under construction. People, you could get the feel of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People look at it as a home while they're working in there, and some of them are not Nigerians that are working in there. So people have also coming from other African countries that are probably working in there as well, and they will have used as home. There are some few people that are coming in and going back to their home. But like I said, having the owner of the building on that site yesterday would have also mean that there will be so many staff that would have been on the spot as well. So we are looking at probably maybe about 100 people, but so far 10 have died. Few people have been rescued, but the rescue mission is still ongoing as we speak right now. There was a kind of a break transition on the rescue mission yesterday because of the heavy downpour in that particular state and in Nigeria in total. So that halted the kind of rescue mission, which is what is going on now. But it also took about almost 3 to 4 hours before the excavation could arrive at the site of that incident.
Now, has the state governor, the state made any statement pertaining to that, the issue that happened yesterday?
Well, like I said, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has requested an investigation to go out as quickly as possible onto what must have happened. Like I said, I can still say, from what I was listening before coming on to the program, that the deputy governor has also arrived in there. I could say in front of the screen right in front of me, with quite a lot of journalists, media and individuals that are there. But because I'm not sure what has been said by the deputy governor, but maybe we could be able to give that in, prior to the end of this program, or we might give more information tomorrow. But what we can confirm is this is still now ongoing rescue mission where a 21-story uncompleted building that was going on that should have been what they called, one of the top building, as a 360 degree in the video that I saw yesterday.
Interesting, because with scarcity of land, which we know is a scarce resource, a resource that we cannot get more, we cannot create more of it. We see people now putting on skyscrapers, and that is the only way to accommodate the number of people in our communities. But if infrastructures are being put up, and those who have to do diligence in making sure that the right thing is being done are not doing it, then this is the problem that we might face. Maybe today this is happening today when people have not inhabited that building as a whole, but there might be some that is completed and people are in there. What was the plan? Was it supposed to be 15 or was it supposed to be 10 and now we have 21 story? What do you think? We wanted to add your voice to the discussions on this platform, and you can text or WhatsApp it to us or put it on our Facebook page as well. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And with me here in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi Kokin on North London Studios, and Archie. Let's go on. Yomi, which are some of the other stories making the round, sir?
International airfares rise as the Naira crashes on the IATA platform. Banks and the PAL invest 2.96 trillion in the federal government bond in the last 10 months, according to report. Saturday election must hold, according to the MASOB. We do know that the Anambra election is coming up, this weekend, and there's been a lot of, pressure on the particular election with INEC and so many other players. And we also know that some of the politicians have also been involved in some of the atrocity happening in Anambra State. But the movement for actualization of the sovereignty state of Biafra has declared support for the November 6th Anambra State governorship election. This was contained in a communique signed by the group's leader and director of information, Uchenna Madu and Edison Samuel, respectively, in Enugu as well. The group won the INEC against manipulating the outcome of the poll. According to the communique, the decision to support the conduct of the poll was taken after a stakeholder meeting. And also in some of the other headline as well that we have, soldiers generated a fake alert abscond with Lagos POS operator 100,000 naira. From the story that we have here, a point of sale operator Samuel Ayodele has accused a soldier identified only as Williams of defrauding him of 100,000 naira in K2 area of Lagos State. According to the story, on the 26th of October, a soldier drove a black Hilux to Ayodele shop to do a cash withdrawal transaction of 100,000 as he requested the operator's account number to transfer the money into. This does happen, for those that might not be aware, people might make a transfer to you, you will see the alert, but the actual money is not in your bank account, and the operator has actually given away 100,000 naira to this soldier that has now absconded as well. Ayodele told the correspondent that the soldier became furious and suggested dropping his phone number so that the 32-year-old could contact him if the transaction was not successful. After exchanging contact, the POS operator said he gave the soldier the 100,000 naira. I gave him the money because I could not believe a high-ranking soldier who drove a very good car would defraud me. When I did not receive the alert, I called his phone number, but he did not pick it. He later called back. I told him I had not yet to receive the alert. He said it was because of the 100,000 that I was disturbing him, and did I know the kind of person he was? He then said he would not come the following day. This does happen with so many fraudulent acts in Nigeria. And the individual was also saying, the soldier said, do you know who I am? This does happen frequently as well in Nigeria. So we're going to take one more, come back again to you in the studio. It's exactly 26 minutes past. Court adjourns Nnamdi Kanu's human rights suit to November the 19th. According to the story, a federal high court in Abia State has adjourned a suit that was filed on behalf of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, against the federal government on matters relating to infringement of human rights. A member of Kanu's legal counsel, Aleo Ejimako, disclosed this in an interview. According to Kanu, through his lawyer, had filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian government and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Star Radio UK, I come back now to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria, bringing the time now to 12:27. 12:27. The news that I've broken this morning pertaining to
11:27.
12:27 for Nigeria. Listeners, just bear with me. 11:27. But I told you I have 2 clocks here, and the woman I told me I just wanted, because I want to be in Nigeria. And we are in Nigeria, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, pertaining to some abduction that has taken place in Nigeria this morning, they're talking about lecturers who have been abducted and some students as well. How true is that, and what information do you have about that?
Yes, you're quite right. It's not the news all the time. Gunmen were able to went into the University of Abuja at the early hours of this morning. Were able to create damage. Not just damage alone. I'm also getting another information here. Bandits killed Chief Imam and several residents in Fasakari local government of Katsina. This is just the news that is just also breaking as well. I mean, the government call them bandits. I tend to call them terrorists because they are operating as the same way as terrorists as well. So, bandits killed the chief imam and several residents in Fasakari local government of Katsina. That's just the breaking news coming out of Katsina as we speak today. Also, the one that you were talking about in terms of gunmen that invaded the University of Abuja, staff quarters, adopted professor and his 2 children. Gunmen at the early hours of this morning invaded the staff quarters of the University of Abuja, Uni Abuja, and adopted the professor of economics, Obasan Joseph, and the 2 of his children. According to the source, the assailant invaded the senior staff quarters at Giri Gwadwalada Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, just about 1 a.m. And that shows, the kind of insecurity that is not just happening across the country, but right inside the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, where the seat of the government is actually present. The president is currently in Glasgow attending the COP26, as we know, and I believe he's going to be speaking sometime around today. We'll be able to report that tomorrow. The names of the professors' 2 children who were also adopted could not be confirmed as of filing this report. The other kidnapped victims are identified as Barrister John Fidelis and Malam Sambo. It was gathered that the other victims, including those who were simply recognized by the source as Barrister John and Fidelis, the university spokesman Abib Yakub has confirmed the development.
Well, we have Frank with us. He would say that this is a norm. So, I mean, it's something that has gone on. We wake up, and if it doesn't happen, we think that, it's unusual for nothing like that. Frank, good morning.
Archie, good morning to our listeners, our viewers. We welcome them to Starr Radio. Welcome. So, Olayomi, how are you doing?
Very good.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Let's not go fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the issue. Look, we've moved from where is no more children. Yeah. If you're losing this a little bit, we've moved from where is no longer only children.
Yeah.
But it now has to do with lecturers.
Yeah.
It's no more a secondary school, no more a college,
a university.
But we've moved to a college.
And it's no more any ordinary town or this thing, but the state, the federal capital.
The federal capital. And actually, you look at it and you ask yourself, these lecturers, how do we replace them? I mean, at the end of the day, apart from the kidnapping, actually, the collateral damage. To think of the fact that lecturers can no longer feel safe.
In a gated community.
In a gated community, and you go to a lecture hall, you don't know whether you are coming back home. Your students are going to be safe. I mean, what? Now, Archie, it's beyond me. I don't know. It's beyond me. And if of all this government thing that is still cool, not to take an aggressive stance, strategy to fight these people. Yeah, this is war. Actually, it is more than guerrilla war.
Yeah,
this is war. So if the government will not put the security on a war footing to go after these people, as basically this is war. Actually, they've declared war on citizens. a lecturers at school, at your uni, Archie. These are not girls. These are not girls like somewhere.
No. Lecturers, yeah.
Student, university student.
Yeah. But I was thinking that it was a targeted thing, thinking that maybe it was a particular lecturer that they have gone to adapt. But looking at I mean, everything that's going is madness. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Thank you very much, Frank. Listeners, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's go and look at what is happening on the social media. Again, this morning, the EFCC has invited, one of the, socialite, as you might want to call it in Nigeria, named Cubana. He has a nightclub in Nigeria, and it seems, the EFCC has, decided to invite him for money laundering charges. These are individuals that are high-profile individuals in Nigeria, he's a socialite, a businessman. Obi Cubana has been arrested by the EFCC for money laundering. The Anambra-born club owner who arrived at the headquarters of EFCC Abuja at about noon yesterday is currently being interrogated by the operatives of the commission. So, though allegations against the socialite were sketchy, a source disclosed that his case borders on alleged money laundering and tax fraud. The source said Obi Cubana was arrested and brought to EFCC headquarters on Monday afternoon over the allegations of money laundering and tax fraud. He's being grilled by detectives as we speak right now. So we hope we'll be able to get more details on that. But that has been on the trending list, including the Ikoyi massacre and likewise the video of Nigerian soldier opening, live ammunition into the homes of residents in Enugu State, and yet, the governors have not really said any much on that particular as well. So let's just look at again one or two from social media before we start winding it down this morning. It is still your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and again, the images, it looks like a sandwich packed together of the 21-story building that is still ongoing rescue mission as we speak right now. According to Tobichi Indwekwe, terrorists on their march to take over Nigeria, Taliban is loading in Nigeria come 2022, just a reminder. And likewise as well, how the Nigerian soldiers invaded Enugu community, burned houses, killed over 50 people. That is also from Sunto Okonko 2 on the Twitter. And the last one before I come back, genocide is going on in Biafra land in the state called Enugu, in a community called Agua. Twitter is not working with Nigerian government, and the British stopping my videos I got from Nigeria. Twitter is blocking my videos I share here. Genocide is going on in Igbo land according to Moscow White. That is going to be from me this morning. I'll come back again to you now in the studio.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, for that wonderful update from Nigeria this morning, and we'll catch up later.
Thank you very much. Have a very good morning. Stay tuned with Frank and Archie for the remaining segment of the Star Radio Morning Show. Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki. But we're going to be having a chat, and after a break, I wanted to look at the scarcity of land, okay, in our part of the world, and the fact that in order to be able to accommodate our people, we have to put on, high-rising buildings. But again, when it comes to our inspectorate division, those who have to see to it that construction goes on and is per the specifics that has been approved, when we see that there's a shortfall in there, and this is what is happening, where a 15-story building has now been constructed to a 21-story building that has collapsed and killed people. So, somebody will say, yes, some people have died, but can you just imagine if it was fully housed? Can you just imagine how many people will be in there, and maybe in the night, and it just would have collapsed on them? Can you just imagine that, and look at our population, and look at the fact that a household, how many people who live in there? Now, do you think it is okay for us to construct high-rising buildings in our part of the world? That's a story that a question that I'll be posing later on. I will want you to think about it, and we'll come back after the break and have a look at that whilst we look at other stories as well. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in a just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 20 minutes to 12. Okay, I didn't look at my Nigeria time. Okay. Yes, now let's with me in the studio is Mr. Frank Davids. I'm Archie, and we're looking at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But before we go to other parts of the world, let's look at this story that has happened in Nigeria and look at our the African continent as a whole.
Yeah.
Now, I talk about land, which we always say that it's a very scarce resource. So we can't increase it. We can't. So whatever is there,
land and time.
Yeah, that is. So we have to make sure that the little that we have, we make judicious use of it. Yeah. So one of the best ways to do it is by building high-rise buildings or putting up high-rise buildings. But this is a case where the town and country planning has approved that a building should be 15-story.
Yeah.
I don't know whether even if they've gone to that particular land to look at the nature of the land to say that, okay, this particular land, you cannot even put 15-story there. You know, some of the land are such that you have to put, I mean, a very shorter a building or maybe a bungalow or something there. But we don't look at that. So somebody draws a plan, just take it to the land and country, and then they just approve of it. Oh, okay, this is what the person about. And this person sent a plan for 15-story, ended up putting up 21. There's some other story saying that it's 22. And the designer was sending a word of warning, cautioning them that, look, this 22 is there's going to be a problem.
The architect.
Yeah, the architect. And nobody hearkened to him. And now this has happened. Now, do you think that we should go on to do that, especially when we cannot trust our regulators?
There are two things over here. We shouldn't take a defeative approach to say that because 1 or 2 buildings have collapsed, 3 have collapsed, and therefore we are not fit as a people to be able to construct a high-rising building. That would be a defeatist approach.
Okay.
I do believe that our architects, our engineers, our builders have the technical know-how and the capability to be able to deliver some of those buildings.
Okay.
There's, however, a very genuine concern which we must all address, which is lack of respect for small, common, basic laws and application of common sense.
Okay.
Archie, we believe strongly in cutting corners.
Yeah.
Most Africans prefer cutting corners than doing the right thing. We begin to look at the short-term gains, the immediate gains.
Yeah.
Without looking at the long-term
effects. Yeah.
We also are. A lot of us are chronically selfish, and therefore, whatever we're doing, we do not think of the implication of our actions on the other people. The other fifth thing is that actually we are reckless in our approach in doing certain stuff. We believe in I don't care because it doesn't affect me
directly. So
I do not care. Some of these are ills within our societies that, if corrected and if we take it upon ourselves, interestingly, I tell you what, this person who built this in might be a church leader, a deacon. And forgot about the biblical saying, or when you do it for others, you do it for
God. Yeah.
He was looking at the profit motive. And again, all of these people that are involved in some of them will be looking at profit motive. Now, our country and planning, this and that we had, is come of age. We didn't, or we're not having these high-rising buildings at those times. Have we updated our supervising manual that when someone comes with planning, this is what we should look for? Have we recruited engineers that are capable of determining that if a story is going 10 stories, 5 stories, 20 stories, these are the requirements that you need? When you go to a building site in this country and they want to probably build a 50-story building, a 20-story building, the foundation is not the same as building a 3-story or probably a masonette. It is not
at all.
The first will have to what dig down, deep, and the depth of that foundation to some extent is determined by how high that building will be. So they start from that, metals and other things. So even the type of foundation, they also need to, before they even approve, they need to look at the land where it is. Is it an area that can submerge easily?
Waterlogged
area. Looking at, they do soil,
the type of soil that is there.
Soil test. Is there a drain? Is it part of the planning that when you dig further you might meet what? I mean, probably an year that has been earmarked for a future tube or something. They do all those analysis, right? But we don't do, because we prefer cutting corners. Actually, I prefer probably paying for someone to pay. Oh, Oga, I've deposited something to you, I can that planning permission. The person who is approving is motivated by what goes into the account.
Yeah.
Okay. And to some extent, to actually, the manpower requirement in some of those departments need to be updated.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
We have people who have worked there for 40 years. I'm not discounting experience, right? I am not discounting that. But look, you cannot tell me that someone born as a BBC candidate is as good when it comes to IT with someone who had just freshly used IT. Look, when we're studying, when we went to school, Archie, our libraries were not on online.
No digital thing like that.
No assignment was given to me online.
No,
I got to university before I started my assignments online.
My thesis, I had to use typewriter.
You see, so if you tell me today that a BBC born experienced man can use ArcInfo, which is a software in remote sensing, more than someone born, actually, I'll tell you, no, it's practically impossible. Friend, it's not possible. Actually, so we need to upgrade our manpower requirement in those departments. But actually, it's again because when things like this happen, we do not set examples. This person, for instance, should be charged, arrested, prosecuted. The planning permission department should be charged, prosecuted, because it is part of their responsibility. We heard a story recently when is that a 12 or a 20-story building in Ghana, located close to the airport vicinity. We are told that Accra Metropolitan Assembly have sent a message to the owners of the property that they should move the property, because to them they didn't know that the property was being built and they didn't know how the property got there. And you ask yourself, hello,
overnight it was there.
Did we have any Harry Potter operating over there?
Honestly,
it's simply because probably there has been a change of management. Someone now want to get his share of what was paid.
Okay.
Are you getting me? I bet whether it's a safety issue will be the concern why they want to move that property.
It might not be. It's just the share of the person.
But where we want safety issue to play the paramount role in determining, or should be the main objective in determining whether a property is sited here or a property is sited here, the floodways, how high. You look at what happened in Archmortar when
Malcolm,
that property collapsed. We all saw the kind of iron rods that they put in there. Right? They were just like those I used for my daddy's grave. Actually, very tiny. Are you getting me? Under normal circumstances, if the contractor, the owner and the contractor working on that property should be arrested and charged. What is the case? Now, even that person who might own this Nigeria building might want to cut corners, and therefore will also go for a contractor who will be like, oh God, I can't do it.
It's okay. Yeah.
Felix raised a very critical question the other time. From what I know from the building over here, when they are building tall buildings, the blocks and the brick they started the foundation with are not the same
as the one that they no at all. Different densities
at the
different.
Certain level, certain density, certain blocks come in. Right? So that the weight, I bet if these people have even used that.
The
same type of block with the same weight and take it up. Actually,
I'm getting you.
The other time my fellows was talking a lot. If you have a cement bag that's supposed to be used to construct probably 10 20 blocks, and you end up mass production
100,
then when the rain comes, you expect it to melt like onion, like a sun. But actually, in all this, we're talking about human lives here.
Yeah.
And therefore, pressure needs to go on the government to prosecute these people, to make sure things like this do not happen. The city authorities must bear partial responsibility for it, because they are being paid to ensure that structures that coming up are safe for, human,
accommodation. Yeah.
So you cannot build something that is not good for your habitation, rent it out or give it out, whatever it is. No, actually, we need to go hard on people. If we don't do it, we're not going to stop the corner cutting. Because every time we do the corner cutting, it brings out.
Yeah,
sometimes
people lose their lives.
People who profit from the corner cutting, at the time the corners were being cut, would have made their profit, would have moved on, and then the consequences of their actions falls on people, innocent people who might not know. Unfortunate.
It's a very, very unfortunate situation, but we wish them, those who have lost their lives, our condolences, and to the families who have lost loved ones, our condolences. Those who have lost their life, may they rest in peace. It's very sad, but it worries me greatly, because we see, buildings just springing left, right, center in our communities, but as to whether they meet the safety, it's something that I'm not sure of, and it worries me. It really, really worries me. Would this person be charged? Would he be, charged for what? Causing people to lose their lives? I don't know about that.
This is manslaughter.
Manslaughter, yeah.
This is manslaughter. And even problematic,
Wow. Okay, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me put this announcement through whilst we continue with the program. This afternoon exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. And today she's going to be looking at what? She's going to be looking at a mastermind. What is a mastermind group? And what is it imperative? Why it's imperative for you to join? So you say, join me today at 1:30. So mastermind group. Have you joined a mastermind group before? Do you think it's imperative? Or do you think you can just go on doing your own thing and still make it? What about that? So make sure you join BB Clement exactly at 1:30 this afternoon. And then we'll be having the CEO program with Simon Frazier at 8 o'clock as well. So this and a lot more going to be coming your way. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. I'm Archie, and it's gone 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Well, this morning I was watching a video and I saw Prince Charles, our honorable prince, nearly fell when he was going to give his speech at the COP26. I said, Jesus, it should that would have been a calamity. The Queen is not feeling that great. The one supposed to represent him is falling down. Then we have serious, but thank God it didn't happen. So it's going on. But what they've come out with is deforestation should end by 2030. So we got about how many years? 9 years to go. Hew down every tree and destroy as much as we can, and then come 2020 say, hey, now we stop. But my worry here is back in the day. You remember back in Ghana, we were doing reforestation program. And we said when you cut one tree down, you plant what? I've forgotten how many the ratio, whether 1 to 7 or something. So we were doing that. Now has those things stopped? And are they encouraging people to do so? I know that Biden has pledged about 9 billion. Where is it going to go to? What are they going to be using all those monies for?
Actually, there's no doubt that we will continue to need what they call
the trees.
That is for our own good. Even there are basically companies that rely heavily on biomass. There's even an energy firm in this country, energy producing firm. In fact, they supply about 6% of the total energy UK needs at each point in time into the grid. They used to be a coal burning this thing, and now they mainly into biomass. So we're going to need trees. Okay, one solution would be that probably instead of going for just planting trees, we engineer some trees like genetically modified. Modified trees which can be used for this biomass and other things. But we actually dedicate fields that aggressively we grow them, engineering the process so that they are able to be used for that. Now, when I talk of stopping deforestation, I 100% agree. It is not, that is a goal, that will be the ultimate goal. It is now up to the technical staff to be how do we meet today's needs and preserve the future. And the future here will be that we do not want to ruin and destroy all the forests. Now, people in the Congos, where there are a lot of trees, Brazil will tell you, look, we need these trees for our development. Can we provide alternatives for some of the, because if you take Odum tree, for instance, it takes years to grow. You take Wawa tree, it takes years to tree, it takes years to go. So if I'm going to stop now, I recall on the last time I traveled I moved from Hokwe heading towards Dambai, and once you go past, there's a town called Apisokubi. You go past Ura, then you get into Apisokubi, that area. Actually, from Apisokubi heading towards Asukoko, before you cross that river Asukoko, down to Jerry Rollins, now there's a bridge on it. You see to your left, to your right, thick that are deliberately been planted. Huge stretches of that. Are you getting me? I know a friend's father owned a sawmill in Ho, where it got to a point they had to be even importing teak from Togo to be able to use over there. What we need to do is to encourage and make it commercially viable for people to plant all kind of trees. I know when it comes to teak, it's commercially viable. People plant very. We might have to look at how we encourage people to plant a lot of and see it as a cash crop. If we can,
but it takes a long time.
That's why we might have to come with the genetic. If we can modify some of the trees. But I do believe technology is here to help us. But we cannot allow the environment, the trees to be just down like that. I really think that if you've been to Sahel area and you look at how even if the wind is blowing, the way the sand is the surface, and if the sun blows away, when it rains, the surface run off, the way it sweeps everything away, and then you begin to look at the effect it's even having on how much food that is harvested per an acreage of land. You cannot just look on, but we need to find a good balance between which will mean that actions will need to be taken, trees will need to be planted, we need to devote more money to it. Areas that are already gone, we need to reclaim them to be able to engineer process of irrigation,
land reclamation.
We need to do all those things. But I think it's a good agenda, provided that the talks are going to be talks, and they did not just came here for photo opportunity. That when they talk, they're going to mean what they're going to walk the talk. That's very that's a challenge we face.
Let me say good afternoon to Sister Gina Latte. I can see that she's watching us, so that means she's feeling much better.
Thank you. God. I raise a cup of tea.
Frank is raising a cup of tea. I'm raising a bottle of water to you as well.
In celebration.
Okay. Now let's during the let me announce the lines open first, and then we go on. Now, if you want to join the conversation, call us on 0208-133-2257 or 58, 0208-133-2257 or 58. If you're in the US or Canada, it is 001-718-303-2737, 001-718-303-2737. You want to text or WhatsApp us, is 075-3966-17 1744. 075 3966 1744. You can also Twitter us. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. And you can continue to post your comments on our Facebook page. I promise you, I'm gonna see to read that as well. Okay, I saw Chisekedi on the stage, sitting with Boris, and I mean the big hooks.
Yeah.
And yesterday we were having this discussion, saying that the African leaders go in a united front, making sure they know exactly what their people are suffering, and they know what to say.
And that one we know the answer. It's no.
Chisekedi was there, and I was sure. I was saying, I looked at him and I shook my head. I said, he's just going to be sitting the photo opportunity. I sat with the big
president. He's a president of a sovereign state, Archie, and also sovereign state. And in fact, Archie, let me say, he's one of the most important persons in that.
Yeah, I thought that's why they gave him that particular place, because of that.
He's just there to represent. You know, yes, you are baby. Look, for those who do not understand, that was Greek. My little level of Greek that I mean, I know. I will introduce another one which is Latin shortly. Archie, look, they come there they do not have what it takes to be able to call the world attention the way they should. And in my view, Democratic Republic of Congo, and lo and behold, they were named in one of those addresses. And a president from that country should be laying bare and be making sure that he brings the concerns of his people out there. And especially at a time when the world is driving towards an economy which backbone is buried mostly in the belly of Congo. The batteries that we need to power our electric vehicles today. Yes, hydrogen technology is going to come. A lot of technologies are going to come. It's going to get to a point that probably not my lifetime. All that I know how a hydrogen car has been invented. It's going to get to a point where cars will move on solar. If you want to,
you can just put solar panels on your car and just be driving.
There's even some already. Solar panel you drive if you don't want to drive at night. If you want to drive at night, it charges your battery and you go. There's no need to plug. There's no, because if it is battery and I can use solar to charge my battery, right then that's it. It's just a matter of making sure that the photocrystal cells you are using are so, I mean, huge enough, or a lot of them compact enough to be able to capture
the sun rays.
But until then, actually, the second we went from fossil fuel. I mean, this is where we are, petrol, diesel, and all those things. We are now transitioning into an electric, and at each point in time, part of the world must support that industry. The Arabs, the oil, the Russia, the gas, they've supported us through the fossil fuel.
Made loads of money,
and they still continue to make it for a long period to come. Because some of us do not like electric cars because they don't produce.
They'll take you somewhere and leave you. Somebody was complaining this morning.
I would love to say the accident rate
when it comes to
electric cars, because you can't hear most of them.
It's serious. So, I'm telling you.
I mean, will I be able to drive an electric car on a busy Lagos road where people are vending their goods?
They didn't hear you coming.
They didn't hear me coming. I don't know. Felix might have an answer to that. But actually, what I'm trying to say is that Democratic Republic of Congo should be positioning itself very strategically to take advantage of the opportunity. Unfortunately, however, though, is that a country as they are, whatever is in the belly of it that they owe legally does not belong to them, because they have sold advanced, taking advanced money, signed contract that basically have tied their hands. For years to come. That even they might have a mine, private jets operating day and night, taking away, casting away their minerals and other things. but the indigenous, the citizens, are not having the full benefit of what is happening. What are they going to do? Is it a time to call and say, okay, you know what? This is what we've suffered.
Yeah.
We do not want to go, and therefore, as a country, we want to push for this aggressive change. It's either you leave our country or we renegotiate. Actually, my experience tells me that they will, most of them.
They will, because they don't have a choice. This is where majority of that particular mineral is coming from.
Most of them will renegotiate. I saw the president of Ghana yesterday, and I'm not going to go there.
I'll talk to you later. I'll say this man is not sleeping. Is that this is the way
he was
like sleeping?
He was very attentive. He was the most attentive president in that room.
Okay.
And I was listening. I watched it. I watched the news, and I was like, we're talking of forest and deforestation. Atiwa Forest, for instance, in Ghana, is one of the most world-renowned, respected, preserved forests globally. Just 2 weeks ago, a bird and all that has not been seen for hundreds of years
was in there.
Was discovered in that forest.
Oh wow!
There are certain specific apes, species of monkeys that are nowhere. They are not found anywhere apart from Atiwa Forest, right? But we have us making that a target to be bulldozed down by the Chinese for mining, because we want bauxite. How much are we getting for bauxite? How much did we go for? 3 billion. Okay, but you see, if your president arrives in Ghana, and actually I call him your president because it's your country president. If he arrives in Ghana and they ask him what was said, oh, we've gone, we've come back, but strategically, actually,
nothing.
Listening was done in sleep. He was sleeping. So what is he going to tell? How is he going to?
He went with an envoy. His aide will brief him.
Oh, then why didn't he sleep in Ghana so that the aide would go and take them? Don't you think that he could have gotten the documents and read?
He has to have a shower.
So actually, you realize that constantly we're not doing ourselves. Our leaders are not doing us favors. I mean, if you want to look at that, they're not doing us favors. And I think it's time we begin, as electorates, we begin to look critically people we elect into office. I wish I would have a magic decision to go for positive discrimination. To say that, look, if you are aged more than 65, we cannot have you as a president. Or if you go to retirement age,
you cannot.
You cannot, because you're supposed to be the chief civil servant. And civil servants retire at what age?
65.
So why did we exclude the president from that civil servant?
Because he is overseeing the civil servants. Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. I tell you all the time, you cannot get it anywhere else than here. Okay, let's move on to some of the some issues that took place at the COP26 as well. A very sad one. The representative from Israel couldn't have access to the place because they had not prepared accessibility for wheelchair. And it's been going on, but I'm looking at it, I'm saying, look at the UK. If you discriminate that way, how they will come against you seriously. But there was that flaw in their planning, which I know by tomorrow, those who caused that will have to come and answer. Now, the lady has an access in there. But if this had happened in Ghana, they're having an event there, do you think somebody like that can have access to any of our buildings?
Right. It's not about whether, if it has happened in Ghana, how many times has it happened and we've not, boarded? You know, so the issue here for me is that yes, it's happened. What is being done to remedy the situation? And as we speak, a solution has been found. How many times have we not had disabled people with disability in one form or the other? And may I remind ourselves that each and every one of us is somehow disabled.
Oh yeah.
Your level of disability might not be as severe to prevent you from physically able to do certain things. But there's no human being on earth who is not disabled in one way or the other.
Yeah. That's why we
disabled.
need everybody, somebody to compliment you because we are not complete.
Someone will tell you, when I get to, assuming I go, look, if I go to Yorkshire, for instance, and start speaking, they will tell me my accent alone is a disability. My accent alone over there, within Yorkshire, I can't do any. I can't. In alone is a disability. If you do the any 2 man 2,
it's a disability here.
Because you go to interview, we go for a job. You might not have physical access. I go to a job and I say that's a disability. It goes against me. So in one way or the other, we are disabled. The good thing in this case is that the end has ended up being something, and it's an example that we should pick. So all the world leaders over there, and I do believe, given if she's given opportunity to speak, she should address, apart from the climate change, because all we're talking about over here about this moving from fossil to greening, people who are going to suffer more are the less able. Whichever way you look at it. I use firewood to cook in my village. Let's assume I cannot use firewood again. What do I do? And I'm disabled.
You have to be looking at God.
I don't have source of income. I don't have any social welfare. I don't have a disability benefit. What do I do?
Go sit by the roadside and beg.
Beg who? When the people themselves are poor.
Nearer my God today. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Let me say good morning to, good afternoon to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, who has joined us. But now we have got Kojo D, who is online. Kojo, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Your comment on any of the issues that we discussed so far?
No, we are not cooking with firewood anymore.
We are.
That's why I'm joking. In several parts of Africa, if you go now, people are still cooking with firewood.
Charcoal. Even the charcoal comes from this in the woods.
Well, they do charcoal, they do firewood, they do both. So that is probably the way they've lived for hundreds of years and haven't really changed that much. So loads of places in Africa are actually suffering from all these toxic gases that have been emitted into the environment. So primarily it's carbon dioxide. The northern part of the world, where all the developed countries probably are, might have interventions that will make their lives easier. But you go to a country such as down the tropics, Congo, as we were mentioning, they're going to take the brunt of all these environmental issues. Really. So if places are getting flooded, it's been going on for years, as far as I know. I mean, look, my grandparents' town, completely, their houses, their story buildings and stuff that they built, all submerged under the sea. I mean, massive coastal erosion.
Keta area.
So what are you talking about? Well, what are they talking about? And our governments are presenting themselves there. I'm not sure what they are bargaining for, but from what I hear, they want about 15 million or thereabout billion dollars for the next decade or so to mitigate against some of the issues that climate change will bring to the countries. Ghana is talking about they want money to do various phases. So I am sure their presence there is to get money, but I'm not sure how the money will be gotten, because some of these commitments have no legal binding. They are just promises. As we know previously, Norway decided to stop funding Brazil over the deforestation of the Amazon because it was a promise, and when they had an argument, they decided we won't give you that money again towards the Amazon because you are already deforesting the Amazon.
Yeah.
So Frank was talking about the Atiwa forest.
Yeah.
It's already been chopped down. I mean, it was over the weekend, somebody was in a discussion with me and said, do I know that the Chinese have already started doing whatever they are doing? They are doing their mining and extracting the forest timber.
Yeah, look at that.
And yeah, that's what the person was telling me. I said, where do you have this evidence from? He said, does he need to give me any evidence? And he just basically told me, look, if you want to verify for yourself, just travel back to Ghana and just go into the forest and see the destruction that is about to happen to that forest. And we can, it's been happening. I mean, government of Ghana says is clamping down on timber felling, and the timber has to have an indication to show where it's been felled, whether it's within the required area that it should be felled. But people are still felling the timber and mixing it up with the approved areas that the timber should be felled.
Yeah.
What were you going to do about that? I mean, it's a commitment. I mean, Russia currently has some of the biggest forests apart from
Brazil.
Those in Brazil and Congo. But it's just a commitment. If Russia decides to cut down the trees, what would you do? Like Brazil is doing, what would you do? I mean, they're talking about 2030. And my view is that the destruction that is going to happen in the next 10 years before those commitments.
Oh, tell me about it.
I mean, you can't stop it. I mean, so by the end of the day, you go to places like Nigeria, the impact is so high. You go to places like Ghana, people always talk about the drains, but it isn't only the drains. I have to be 100% correct. It's not only the drain, but it's also the climate change that is affecting them really. So it's climate change that is causing huge
rain to fall, and then
and the fine, let's say the drains too are not that bad, but the type of rain that pours down, we can see we all three of us live in the UK. I mean, we also what happened in the UK in the last few days.
Yeah.
I mean, bridges have been footbridges and bridges have been washed off.
Yeah.
And they completely wash away, and we have people's houses flooding. People around some parts of the country has had massive floods. Some people have had coastal erosion. So these promises, I don't know, some people are not interested in the promises. Countries like China, I mean, that is why they are going into all these countries like Ghana, Zambia, Namibia, and all these African countries. They're making their presence felt in those countries, including going to already in Afghanistan. I mean, so what do you expect? They are buying off ports. They are buying off. Look, you go to Sierra Leone now, they have bought up sections of Sierra Leone. So what do you expect?
So China.
I mean, China seriously might be saying they are doing their bit for the environment, but they might be making their cutting down pollution in their own country. But what are they doing in other countries? That's the issue. And all the Western countries are also using cheap labor in China and Indonesia. So, we just see what will happen. Yeah, I mean, as I'm more serious about having a better deal for developing countries, which are bang on and on and on. But I am not sure developing countries are going to have that.
No, I mean, the developing countries, I mean, are interested only in money.
Yeah.
But the question is, when the money comes, what do they use it for?
And even before that, have they actually assessed the damage actual and said that this is what we are looking at? If you're
interested in money, why are you going to assess what? You're only interested in money. I mean,
whatever they give you, just
take example of the COVID situation, right? We've used a lot of developing countries have used the COVID situation as a weapon against their own people and as a way of getting money from the international community. Are you getting? We saw in our own country.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in Nigeria when foods that were meant for poor people were stored in warehouses when people went hungry. And what were those foods going to be used for? For political campaign. We all saw it. We saw in Ghana when contracts were given to party food soldiers to cook a bowl of kenke and a small finger of fish and call it 25 Ghana cedis. Are you getting me?
Wow.
Just because some money has come, right? And they tell you when you look at the audit, when you look at reports that are coming, they'll tell you we spend this amount on this spend, and you question it. That did you really spend this amount of it? These are Tiwa Forest issue that we're talking about over here. What will Akufo-Addo do differently when he arrives back in Ghana concerning that? I mean,
he's not going to stop the contracts that they've given. They signed with
why? It brings money that you use to pay for the jets that he's hiring, flying. I mean, what do you call it? Paying £15,000 an hour in the sky. Okay, because that's what they need the money for, to spend on themselves, to spend it now without thinking of the future. Oh, they will tell. I mean, once they borrow, they come, we go. I'm not saying don't borrow. Borrowing, sensible borrowing, in my view, is the right thing to do. But do not borrow to spend on recurrent expenditures like the way we're doing now. Archie, as we speak now, do you know colleges of education that were supposed to basically reopen in September? The education ministry sent them a letter that they should reopen in October they should reopen on October 8th. It never happened. They were pushing it to November. As of 3 days ago, a letter has again been issued that reopening should be pushed to January.
Wow. Why?
Oh, Archie, if you're going to be paying people allowance and you don't have the money, what do you do?
Wow.
Are you getting me? So, Archie, I think we are in a very, very, very difficult situation as a people from the developing countries. If until we begin to get leaders that will be thinking of the people and think of the future of the people they lead and be selfless.
Yeah, that's
be selfless.
Yeah,
I don't think we go anywhere, because democracy, unfortunately, has also come to bind our hands. That until you want to go Guinea Conakry, Mali way, we're not going to go anywhere.
Well, listeners, if you don't know the Guinea Conakry and Mali way, go check for a few months now what has happened there. All right, then. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:24. And let's go cross straight to the African continent and have a look at some of the stories making the rounds, especially in Ghana today. Now, let me pick this story first. Now, from one person who, when he speaks, for I don't know, for no apparent reason, but I really like him because I like his objectiveness. Where that's Dr. Kofi, what they call him, the director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. That is Professor Kwesi Enin. Now, he's come out to say that, well, when democracy, he said democracy will only work best when it's not threatened or coerced. He is saying that, well, when we go in for an election and it happens that, like what is happening, and up to now I don't know whether the soldiers have moved from the Volta region, some areas that they went where they went to occupy, to say that they were stopping people from crossing over from neighboring country, that is Togo, to Ghana to come and vote. I mean, I don't know whether they've left and the borders have been opened there. I'm not sure about it. But when he used that, and then coercion, where politicians are giving people monies and giving them all that blah 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 for them to vote for them, then you ask yourself, this democracy where we always, people are saying, oh, it's a young democracy, it's going to metamorphose, it's going to grow up and we're going to get there. And I don't see when it comes to a democracy, I don't see that ever happening, because I see that we're getting rather going down and down and down and down, where somebody can just wake up one day and say, I bought all these people in this land and they have all voted for me, and what is your take? So do you agree with what Kojo is saying, and the fact that in this what we call them, these nominees, these MCE nominees, one of the nominees in New Japan have gone on to go and bribe people so that he will be approved. Meanwhile, he bribed the people the first time, he wasn't approved. Okay, he didn't say anything. Nobody knows, because bribery is not accepted in our community. And they went on to bribe them the second time, and then that one too failed. Now he's come back and say, hey, give me my money back, and now he has to be arrested for that. But you look at all those coercion and things that goes on, and you ask yourself, what kind of democracy do we think we are practicing, and do we think that come the next 10 years we'll see anything better?
Actually, let's call Malik. Probably have a name for it. It's called democracy. I mean, but actually, I saw the bribery story. And for me, it's not strange, because it's been captured on camera. That is why it's not an issue that we don't know exists. We know, I mean, they bribe themselves, they bribe people every day during election process. I mean, but you see, actually, it is not again different from where a president nominates someone and the people disagree, and the president through his appointees use military to go and prevent people who are legitimate to vote from entering to participate. It's almost the same crime that is being committed. Are you getting it? Or where president thinks that the people he appointed his presidential, I mean, basically the executive nominees on the assembly are withdrawn and replaced. Like it happened somewhere in Ashanti with 8 people were, I mean, sacked, and the president reappointed different people. Are you getting me? We're not governing for the people. We're not governing with the people. We're not governing, or we're not trying, because if there was one, was it Tolun North, Western Tolun or something, Eastern Tolun, in the north. They rejected the person second time, and the whole town started jubilating.
Whoa. Can you just imagine? Actually, he was approved.
That is how serious it is, that you nominate someone to be the leader of people, right? The person got rejected. The person got rejected the second time, and the town went jubilating. The question should be, why are people jubilating over this person's rejection? No, we now want to see power being shown, and therefore military are being deployed to that area. Bribery is taking place. Aled Dambotre is on his way over. What is he going to do to bribe? Kumasi mayor. What did do you think the president went to Kumasi for
he said, just approve him and let him do his work.
They went and bribed their way out. That is what they did. Actually, that is what they did. So, I understand the new driving guy has been arrested and given self-recognition bill. Let's hope the police are able to set an example with this. Because if it happens, it means that you can bribe me to do something, to vote for you, and I can just go to the police and tell them
that I've been bribed by this person.
Until we get to that point, that's where the Electoral Commission is failing. Because the Electoral Commission supervises all elections, including the election of this, what do you call it, MCs and DCs, right? They should be concerned about the bribery that is going on. But you see, actually, someone tell us, until we check our party finances, we're going to have criminals buying position. Because if this man has to increase the bribing amount, he was saying someone he give it 1,000, probably 1,000 enough, assuming I'm a criminal now, right? And I went and gave him, each of them 10,000 on his behalf, and gets approved. Do you think when he comes to power, he's buying his position in advance?
And has to get the money back.
It's a private business he's running in a public office. That is what they mean. There was this Kumasi guy who to me something who was claiming that, look, when they were going to approve someone, he had to spend 80,000 to get a person approved. and the person gave him a contract afterwards. So it is not MPP as a party that gave him the contract. I said to myself, hello, you've just admitted that you influenced people to take a decision that. Are you getting me? Actually, God help us.
God help us. Kojo, how can God help us on this front?
The Holy Spirit is not coming down to us. My God. I mean, that's been going on for a while now. I mean, it's not just the MPP nominees that, but from my understanding, it goes back years and years where people have actually been doing that kind of thing, really. They have actually been driving their way through when they are nominated. I mean, I can't get it. When I'm nominated, when the president decides to nominate me to do some work there, why do I have to go and pay to be accepted by the assembly members? But that practice has gone on for years and years and years, and it hadn't been stopped. So how can we stop it? The assembly members they themselves should be shy of themselves, really, in assembly for taking bribes from nominated candidates, which means, like Frank is saying, the candidate who has been nominated and accepted, the whole time that candidate will be there, which is probably going to be another 3 years that they will be in that position. What are they going to really do? They're going to work their way to get their money back.
Yeah.
And not do any work.
Why wouldn't they approve a building that it will collapse? I mean,
exactly, etc. Somebody said those are the kinds of things they do. They give contracts to those same people who they paid the bribes to, so that, or people affiliated with the people they pay the bribes to, so that the people will rub their backs, cover their backs. They say, yeah, rub my back and I also rub my back. That is the kind of thing they are practicing. I'm not sure how that will be stopped. Maybe this one, Safo Kantanka has found himself in, I would say, hot water, maybe boiling water. Yeah, but would that stop that practice? The answer is no. It won't stop it. It will still persist.
Well, listeners, what is your take on this? It won't stop. It will still persist, and a very, very sad one there when it comes to Ghana. But, well, we've been talking about in the past few days and weeks about this LGBTQI and how people have been that vociferous. We talk about religious bodies and everybody, I mean, doing their best, pushing the agenda. I asked myself the question the other time: how many people die of that in a day? And I asked myself, if we use that same energy and attention that we are using to push through such a bill to address issues that affect us directly, then we might have, I mean, our political leaders doing something. Now, there's been an accident that has happened in the between Kumasi and the Bronx. I don't know what their regions, the names of those regions now, and they are talking about the fact that people, more than 17 people died on the spot. Every day, if you talk about number of people who die from road accidents, when it happens that here in the UK, something like that happens. One person.
Let me cut you again. Let me just bring this in again. Breaking news coming again. Now, Dumako, as we speak, there's a bus on fire. Also, accident. After a crash is also on fire.
So you say things like this and you ask yourself, now something that will not impact you directly, the person wants to do whatever, you can do whatever. We are so interested in that, and but things that are killing us daily, it will not, if it will not kill you, it's going to kill somebody who is very close to you. We don't want to know that.
Yeah, but actually, see, when you come to the anti-gay bay issue, it's a bit of a different case and a different ball game over here. the proponents of that bill will argue that look, we are a culture being, and whatever we do, our values and culture informs our way of life. We're just talking about the bribery. Now, bribery in politics has becoming a way of life.
Yeah.
That once you are nominated, the default position is to go and look for money to bribe.
Yeah.
Once you want to contest for a position, the default position is not to showcase your abilities and what you are bringing on board, but you are looking for money to be the highest bidder. Are you getting? It's a way of culture. It's something that has basically taken over the politics of Ghana. Actually, that is what we need to change. We cannot. When it started from Bentua, Jerry time where they were giving
Bentua
roofing sheet, and people thought it was that. Now people have moved from accepting Bentua to now cash.
Yeah, and cars and fridges.
It be Bentua and Amigo chop. That is where we've gotten to. Are you getting me? Now the issue about accident again is because we have not. Actually, our roads are poorly designed.
Yeah.
Simple things that we should be doing, we don't do it. So the road minister goes, the roads and transport minister goes, or the roads and highway minister goes to parliament. We are not able to inquire from him what interventions is he going to bring within 100 days to be able to curb the accident rate.
Yeah.
No one is able to ask him, on this road the signs are not there. On this road the signs are not there. What are you going to do? There was a point in time David complained bitterly about the road that was the new road that was being constructed between Legon, Medina, and all those things.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, he claimed life before people now begin to think. So the question again, the people who are giving contracts out, the ministers whose responsibility is, the technical men that ride in those pickups and take a lot of money for the time we go on a supervision trip, and all that. What that they do, we should be charging them for non-performance, because when you look at it critically, they are causing financial loss to families and stuff. Are you getting me? Because actually, a simple road sign probably could have avoided accident.
Yeah.
A friend of ours the other time, Asepa Mensa, when he had an accident, it was purely as a direct result of the contractor's negligence, because the contractor did not point, they diverted the route. There was no sign that when you get in here, there's a sharp turn, and therefore you
have
come
to
in,
slow down, and then
you have to slow. There's no on car, and you just have to drive in. Are you getting me? God hasn't helped you. And he had an accident less than 10 minutes. Another car had the same place. And you ask yourself, simple thing. Actually, this is a country where even if you a speed camera catches you, and you can prove that there was no warning sign, warning that there's a speed camera ahead, you can go scot-free. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So they are obliged as part of that, where you are, you know, it's 30 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour, but it's a sign that must tell you that,
hey, remember,
we are recording you.
Yeah. Kojo, do you think we are doing good enough when it comes to
No, but the issue of road safety is non-existent in Ghana. I mean, when people are about to make a journey from one end of the country to the other, my God,
you have to fast and pray.
I'm telling you, it's so scary. Look, we've had government officials also involved in road accidents. We've had people on campaign trails involved in nasty accidents. We've had government ministers going over to bury somebody in their party who was involved in a road accident, and they also get involved in a road accident. but nothing is really done about it. Look, you have sections of the road that in the night is basically you cannot drive. Not even in the night. During the daytime, you can't even drive. You have broken down vehicles parked on the road of oncoming traffic. I mean, people traveling at high speed. Where are they meant to go? Overtake? The vehicles are abandoned. We have vehicles that are not roadworthy, but they manage to pay bribes and they get back onto the road. We have vehicles with defective brakes. We have vehicles with defective engine parts. We have vehicles with defective tires. The list can go on and on and on. And we have drivers who are not qualified properly to drive these vehicles, right? Yeah. And they go on the road and nobody seems to do any. Look, somebody made this colloquial statement. They say, since God was a boy, this had been going on in our country, right? And nothing whatsoever has been done. And what baffles me is when there is an accident, the first thing that the police officers do, even if it's a minor accident, they want to arrest both drivers because they want to extract bribes from them. Look, and the person on the road who tries to enforce the proper order in the road, being another driver, he's the one that the police will arrest. And the man who is rather breaking the driving rules will put money in their driver's license and give to the police. And they will let him go. And the man who tries to enforce what is right will be arrested with a threat that will put you before court.
Yeah.
What kind of a system is that? And it will just go on. I'm not sure people have really taken people's lives seriously. Road contractors abandon roads where there are no signs on the road to say that there's a heap of sand anywhere. There are numerous potholes, which famously being referred to as manhole on the roads. So what is meant to happen? I don't know. I don't think any one of us know. I mean, like rightly you said, the parliamentarians, the people who make the law, should also make it a business. They themselves have been involved in some of these serious accidents. But is it because they are driving 4x4 cars so that they feel they are insulated in their vehicles? I mean, they should be doing something. Parliament should be doing something. I mean, so that this kind of thing will stop. Lives are perishing every day. 30 people burned to death in Go accident. Is that acceptable?
No.
70 people perish overnight. Is it acceptable? Look, these are the bigger figures. That's why we are seeing them. But the smaller figures, 2-3 people perish on daily basis. Look, that whole statistics of people who die in road accident in a day in Ghana is probably what that number is comparable to what the number of people who die a year in the UK.
Yeah.
On road accidents. In comparing the size of the populations, it's unacceptable. It's really unacceptable. I think the lawmakers should do something really about it. I mean, their focus should not only be on things that they perceive is harming our culture, where I think otherwise. That, look, some of those people have lived with us for all these generations, but we never made a law to criminalize them, and also criminalize people you perceive to be promoting that practice. But quickly we are jumping and making a law now, when there are other serious issues also to deal with. I mean, give the same zeal and attention you are giving to LGBTQ issues, give the same zeal to other issues, and see whether the country will not be a better country.
Yeah.
We now have to use this as example and push them. The other thing I think, Kojo, that we should be looking at when it comes to road safety and other things, education. And one key area, and I'll keep on talking about, is that National Center for National Civic Education and the Department for Information, or whatever they call it, they need to work closely with the the National Media Commission. It should be a requirement, in my view, that when you are given a broadcasting license, you donate at least 5 minutes of your time on a daily basis towards airing ethically, socially approved, but regulation should be such that politicians will not abuse that. Archie, the simple issue about how we handle people when an accident occurs.
Oh gosh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Manual handling of people. A large extent, the accidents do occur, but people who died out of the accident, we can minimize the casualty if and only if people at the scene, people who handle the casualties, can actually handle them in a proper manner, clear their airways, do a little bit of training as to how to handle the person. That
they will push. Have you seen them? They push them into the back of the car. This one will push, and then the person who is having an internal something,
that is it.
Boom, it's gone.
So at the end of the day, I do believe that this doesn't take much money. It just takes a little bit of initiative. It takes a little bit of common sense, and it takes a little bit of someone's determined or telling themselves that I want to make a change, and I've been given a position that I'm. How much will it cost the National Media Commission, or how much will it cost Center for National Civic Education to write through the Media Commission and through the Ghana Journal Association that, look, we want to embark on this education. We're going to roll out TV adverts and even invite people from secondary schools to whatever for training. How long will it take for them to work closely with the health ministry to be able to roll out short courses about manual training at lorry parks? That it should be a requirement that every mate, every driver's mate, every driver is taught how to do manual handling. Actually, those things will not cost money, right? It shouldn't cost money.
No, not at all.
And TV and radio stations are mandated that on a daily basis you're able to use your 5 minutes to play those social as part of your corporate social response. How much will it cost?
No, we are not worried about that.
It's because someone sitting over there can't think outside the box. Even if they are thinking outside the box, they are thinking, how would that outside box bring me money outside what I'm being paid?
Everything outside.
Are you getting me? How will I do something fictitious that is not captured internally? I was telling Chief yesterday that, look, the biggest problem African countries have is when people are in opposition, they are brilliant. Because they spend most of about 90% of their time looking for solution to problems. The moment you vote them out and they have the opportunity to serve, they spend 90% of their time thinking of how to cheat the system and how to return them deals. When NDC was in power, prior to their coming to power, Oyelita, what did she say about gender issue and the vulnerable people? When she was appointed gender minister, and what did she do? I'm not saying she didn't do anything, but did we see the shift, the kind of shift that we were expecting her?
Maybe the system is too rigid for her to be able to push it or change it.
You are appointed to make a change, and that's why I'll keep on saying, if you cannot function, if your ideas, the system cannot accommodate it, resign on principle for you to make a statement.
Of course.
That I resigned because I cannot do A, B, C, D. Actually, there was a man who resigned within last week in Nigeria, and I applauded him. They appointed him to, I've forgotten the department, I think Olayomi will remind. They appointed him to do something, and according to his resignation letter, when he was appointed, he told the person, look, he wants a free hand to be able to implement changes. Right? Within a short period of time, the senior staff that he was working with, the technical people, were all fired even without his knowledge. He said, look, I cannot serve under a regime that will control people I work with. I'm here to do a professional job. If you cannot allow me to do a professional job, look at what happened to Savi.
Yeah.
When Dominic Cummings
made them sack his advisors.
He said, no, I will not do it.
Yeah.
Those are kind of people I respect, because on principle, the man resigned. So in my view, Oyelita, for instance, underperformed, because he sits on radio. Archie, she sits on radio, professes all solutions, and when she was appointed, the kind of shift that we wanted, we didn't see it. I didn't see a law that said that, look, you do the things that I've talking about. These are laws that now are sealing on the loopholes that today we can refer to as Oyelita's bill. None. So I ask myself, what is going on? 90% of their time, it's not thinking about you, it's thinking about
they had to pay to
cronies, their political party. So when you're appointed, your job is, and you're a tax collector or you're a money making machine for the executive. That's what it comes to.
Wow. Well, listen to Starr Radio UK. We've got about 7 minutes to run now, but we still got Kojo. We're going to go to him. He's in South London, and with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davids. And Kojo, what's your take?
Well, I think Frank said, why a lot? So, with the time we have, I think let's move on to another issue.
Okay.
Because I would have said some of the things Frank said.
Okay.
So, let's just move to another issue.
Okay.
So that I'm not repeating exactly what Frank
already
said. Yeah, so in a way I'm supportive of what Frank said.
You concur.
I mean, sometimes I think people should be held responsible for if they are giving them government appointments and government offices. Like the lady in question, he mentioned, even her predecessors, most of the ministers have failed in the delivery of whatever had been given them to deliver. So, what would you say? He's talking about the press being given that space to have education on some of these things. I mean, the press or the media can do that their bit, but what standards do we have for the driver licensing people? I mean, over here, as part of your training to become a driver, some of those are inculcated straight away into you. I think if you get what I'm trying to say, that when there's an accident, the role you play in that accident. When someone gets hurt on the street, what you do as your part to save that life. But we don't have those standards at all there, and it's a huge reflection on us as a people and how we value lives and how we value things that are done. I mean, look at the state of even houses, like with the example we made with Nigeria in the previous hour, when you were talking about the building that's flattened in Nigeria. I mean, what value do people place on life? If somebody places a value on life, and me as an architect, I've designed a building for a 15-story up there, and the owner thinks that no, I want to go to 22 story, and decide that the original architect who designed the building, I'm going to get another architect to up it up to 21 or 22 floors. So the original architect says that that's a disaster waiting to happen. Why didn't somebody who is responsible as a structural engineer in a government department had gone in to inspect whether it's right for them to go up that? If somebody has raised an issue with it, that in itself should say it should stop. But so that is a value we attach to things. Our value we attach to things, I'm sorry, it's really bad. And the country will continue to go down this way when people don't really attach any importance, any value or anything to whatsoever that people think is wrong, and people raise their voices and they become the enemy of the people. Instead of they rather saying, oh yeah, this one has raised a voice, what do we do about it? But they become an enemy of the people. So it's quite difficult. Actually, let's go on.
All right, we're going to be running up because we just got 3 minutes, and this afternoon exactly at 1:30 we're having BB Clement coming our way with BB Means Business as well. So we're going to be running up. But as Frank did talk about orientation when it comes to handling of people or accident victims and stuff like that. I don't know when or I'm talking about the fact that people should be angry. People should be angry because if in a day 70 people have lost their life, we're not talking about the minor ones at all.
Not cutting you, sorry to badge you. That is what I'm saying. That as part of your driving training in the UK, part of the driving, which you know, Frank knows, we all know, you are taught how to save lives when there's an accident.
Yeah.
With people within the community who are probably not even driving are taught life saving what? How it's part of the process. We are even now talking about having defibrillators in train stations.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets a heart attack, look, somebody can administer it. People are taught how to use it. People are taught basic health and safety. People are taught basic first aid. But here is the case in our system. That doesn't happen. You go to schools here, look, somebody in a primary school, somebody in a secondary school, they are taught basic health, first aid. What you should do when somebody is either choking, when somebody is having a heart attack, if somebody is seriously injured, what you should do to stop the person's blood flowing. Or bleeding. That's the right way to stop the massive bleed from continuing. You're taught basic. But like you're saying, people are just shocked and pulled out as if they are tins of they are sardines in a tin.
Yeah.
And that should start from our schools. That tuition should start from our schools. That inculcation should start from our homes, where people feel a responsibility, where life is valued, where life is treasured. We are ready to go and do big funerals. We're ready to pump money into doing a big time celebratory funerals, but we're not ready to preserve life
at all. And that is the saddest part of it.
And we all want to buy cars. And we don't have a responsibility towards maintaining the cars. But we want to drive. We don't have a responsibility to say, how much is my life valued? If something happens to me, what is my family going to do? So we get into the car, we drive at any speed, at any length we want. The car might not be, there are drivers who probably are not qualified. They just get into the car and start driving. Look, I had a bad experience. I was traveling from Kwame Nkrumah Circle going down to Tema. When the vehicle was going to go through, so the vehicle went up to go through the whichever route, and halfway through I was sitting in front and I realized this guy couldn't drive.
The guy was moving. He was moving forward, wasn't it?
So what is my responsibility as a passenger? I stopped him. I told him, look, master, I am going to drive this vehicle. You are not qualified to drive. You cannot even maintain a focus on a dual carriageway. You driving in between the lanes, and you almost ran into another car. When we got to a runabout, he ended up driving on the first speed for a long time. And I said, look, park the car. I ordered him straight because I was sitting in front, and other people in the vehicle were also shouting. So obviously, it got to a point where he has to. I said, stop the car. I'm going to drive the car down back to the station. I said, I'm driving this vehicle back to the station with, these mini buses.
Yeah.
And I insisted I was going to drive the vehicle back to the station because he's not qualified to drive. So how would a driver give a driver's mate, just in that picture, a driver's mate control over a car, knowing very well that this guy isn't qualified to drive? He hasn't even got a license. Howbeit he was producing a license, which I think was a bot or a license.
No, they buy that one. They buy it.
Yeah. So we finally had to stop him. Other people, other passengers, the other person sitting in front with me also jumped in. We all had to stop him, make him park the vehicle, because at the point I was saying that if he doesn't stop, the police headquarters is in the next runabout, which is just about Dankwa Seko or whatever. And I said, if he doesn't stop, when we get there, I will make sure this vehicle gets to the police headquarters.
He would have sped on and then you see what happens.
No, he was going to stop because other people were challenging and
definitely.
And that is the situation we have. We have people speeding, nobody will challenge. We have people doing reckless driving,
nobody challenges
them. We have
a
driver sleeping in the vehicle, nobody will say anything. So, what's the value in life? Actually, your time is gone, and our time is gone.
Kojo, let me say thank you very much for that wonderful input today. We'll catch up later then.
We'll catch up.
Right. Okay. Listeners, that was Kojo D for you. Let me come to Frank for his closing remarks, and then we can bring the program to a close. Frank.
Archie, mine is going directly with be like an appeal. We as citizens, and I'm talking to Africans especially, we need to renew our minds. To some extent, our education a little bit needs to be re-looked at. We need to renew our mind and be able to say to ourselves, look, if you are not going to serve the people, do not occupy positions, because one, you are causing two harms. One, you are not doing the job. Two, you are preventing someone
who could do the job
from doing the job. If you know your interest is going to be looking after yourself, for Christ's sake, and especially those who call themselves Christian and those who call themselves Muslims, when you put in a position, it is Matthew 25 that has been given into your hands, that you should do unto others
what do you want others to do to you.
So if you thinking for yourself, you're not doing it for the others. You should be thinking for others. And how do you think for others? Solutions that improve the quality of life for the people. But in our case, it's the opposite. Actually, it saddens my heart. I don't know if I would like to be in a public office in the system, but we're gonna. And someone was asking me, Frank, is that why you rejected? And I said, yeah, probably, but I know the timing wasn't right. But I think we need to reorient our mind. And I was so happy when I saw in news last week that the military leader of Guinea Conakry actually, assembled a police force. Gave them, I know it's symbolic, give them Bibles, give them Quran, and ask them to swear oath to serve the people. That the things of the past, where it is more like police extorting money, must start from leadership. That they should swear that the book they believe in, that to the best of their ability, they're going to do is now service for Guineans, no service for myself, and then
my
you're not
dog
going to give a motorbike to someone to go on the road and they come and say, how much did you make my share? I mean, if you don't bring your share, you're not going to give them a motorbike again. So how would a person not collect bribe?
Yeah.
When you have given allocated motorbikes that are supposed to supervise the wrongdoer and arrest the wrongdoers and caution them, you have calculated, I've given 5 motorbikes.
So I need to get 500.
I need to get
End of the day.
It is like you bought yourself an abuboya, keke, or a taxi driver that must go and make money and bring you sales, and you call yourself a police officer. Shame on you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Frank Davis. Listeners, this is where we bring in the program to a close. But as I said earlier on, I think it's about time that voters or citizens get really angry about some things that is going on, especially when you see it impacting your life directly, like this road accident that we just talked about, and even the aftermath of that. First aid. Who know how to administer first aid to people who have been involved in accidents and stuff like that? I think it's about time.
Archie, it causes a lot of life.
Yeah,
if you are
it does.
at home, and I'm going to end. If you listen to us, Archie, please, first aid, basic first aid. We need it. It must be
something that you know. Yeah.
And if I have the opportunity to meet an education minister, I think that is one of the first things that from PCs. Look, a 7-year-old boy saved his father's life in this country. And you ask him, taught in school. They teach them in school. When they go to PE, that is what Francais do. Francais can do this thing now. He tells you they put those.
That's
how we are taught to do it.
Yeah.
Because they might be playing.
Yeah.
Something might happen at the play ground.
Yeah.
What do they do?
But especially in our communities where we don't have good health departments. This is something that we might need.
Anyway,
okay. So
business, let's go make money.
Yeah. We'll say thank you very much. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll bring you another edition of the morning show. But this afternoon, as I said earlier on, BB Clement coming your way with BB Means Business, and she's looking at the mastermind. What mastermind is she talking about? Don't you worry, more going to be coming your way on that front. But enjoy this song from Atongo Zimba, and to all of you who are joining us today, we say have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Living in the world, my brother. Living in the world, my sister. But you live in this world. You living in the world, my mama. Some are really gonna hate you. Some are really gonna love you. And some are really gonna hate you. Yeah, we don't wanna kanga, we don't wanna kanga, but for you the ballet, yeah, we don't wanna go on. Yeah, we don't wanna kanga, yeah, we don't wanna kanga,